Hi everyone, this is Grace, and I would like to share with you guys mine and Christy's app evaluation project. So, the app that we chose to present for our project is called Sight Words. Now, this app, whenever you download it from the App Store, is um, this little icon here. It has the little gears all over it, and it's just called Sight Words. This is the screen that you'll see when you first log on to the app. So the app currently has two games unlocked because it begins at the pre-K level no matter what grade the student is in. It always begins at pre-K and then they can slowly work their way up. Both of the games involve listening to a spoken word and matching that spoken word with a written word. They're both unlocked on the app, this Gears game and this Word Machine, when you first download the app. So those two games look like this whenever you first log into them. The cognitive skills on this app that are exercised are listening and visual representation of words. So, students have to be familiar with listening to how words are spoken and then seeing those words scattered about and choosing which one best matches the word that was spoken. So, a student's cognitive abilities are definitely going to be challenged because they'll be using listening to hear spoken words and they'll be using their visual tactics to search for those words that are written on the page. So, students are going to use the same skill for both games that are unlocked either way. Their language skills that will be promoted are their auditory and their visual skills. Students have to listen and then connect what they hear with what they see. You can see in this visual, the robot spoke the word new, or does that say now? Oh, it depends on which one. So for this one, the robot spoke the word now. And then the student had to click on the word now, touch it with their finger. Had they touched one of these, the robot would not have had that same interactive response. The physical skills that are used during the use of this app are that students really have to use their listening ability so that they can then use their motor skills to respond, to reach out, tap the correct word, and drag the gear up to the speaker. So students have to tap the speaker, hear what the speaker is saying, and then drag the appropriate gear to the speaker. This doesn't really work heavily on gaining fine motor skills, but it is a good, simple exercise that could be really good for a student who is struggling in that department. This app really doesn't promote many social skills because it only requires independent work. It could be argued that students are using the part of their brain that requires them to listen, which could promote good listening skills. But overall, there's just not much chance for social interaction with this game. The app is well constructed, and it would give students a great, effective way to practice sight words. Sight words are hugely promoted in schools now because there's some words that you just can't sound out, and there's sometimes you just don't have time to sound out words. So, recognizing these words right off the bat will really help students in their learning. The app is divided into grade levels. It goes from pre-K to third grade. However, there may be a third grader who's practicing first grade sight words and a first grader who's practicing third grade sight words, and there's nothing wrong with that. It can force students who are struggling to really take a step back and take control of their reading from where they need to begin. Students are able to create their own avatar, and it's very cool because this app can hold multiple avatars, and each avatar represents the player and it saves that player's level into the system. So whenever they come back to the app, they won't have to pick up where another kid left off. They'll find their name and pick up where they left off. As far as engagement and motivation, my favorite thing on the app is that it doesn't disqualify you when you make a wrong choice. It simply puts down that choice whenever you've chosen it incorrectly. And then finally, it doesn't just give you the answer, it still makes the student listen to the word that's spoken and then physically touch that word so that they're still getting that listening, touching correspondence, even if it's the last one, and then they still get a point and they still get encouragement. The SightWords app does contain a lot of exciting interactive features, and it's really great for students who are young and who are still getting used to really having structure in a classroom because it is a fun way to practice. The entire app has this exciting high tech theme with gears and robots and things of that nature. There are a few features such as effects and facial expressions and things that aren't necessarily educational, but I wouldn't see them being an issue or being a distraction unless a student really has issues being distracted regularly. This app is highly accessible for really any elementary student. It's geared from preschool to third grade, but a fourth or fifth grade student really could use it as a great review. For the younger learners, their brains are going to be super stimulated. So even if they are a kinesthetic learner, there's a chance that just moving their hands and having all the visual stimulation would really help them as well. But it does, of course, gear towards those auditory and visual learners. The app doesn't have any voiceovers or any closed captioning. If it did, it would kind of defeat the purpose of the app. So finally, this app would really be great in a first grade classroom. I could see it being a wonderful tool at a center where students are working independently on sight words, or maybe they could use it to allow students to have something to do once they finish their work early rather than just sitting around. They're furthering their learning and furthering their knowledge of sight words. Thank you for listening.